Well, Anna Wintour has just banned Meghan Markle and Prince Harry from the Met Gala.
She
got
wrinkles.
Always looks unkempt
She
in
does.
some way. It's like I saw a close up, and this is not to be petty, but this is the result of forcing yourself in our faces.
She found a way to make the African nation all about her because she found out that she had some historic connection through her ancestors.
Meghan posing in a dress. I mean, this woman just doesn't have a clue. Every photograph she posts, it looks like something from a 1970s.
Even if you're hated, it still kind of is better than being ignored. And I realised, I was trying to do the maths on it, and I've actually realised now that their flop era, which for me started in the aftermath of Spare, so basically 2023 to 2026.
Meghan Markle has just received one of the biggest shocks of her entire public life. And trust me, this one hit different. Claims have emerged that she was personally banned from attending the Met Gala 2026. Not by some random person, but by two of the most powerful women in the world, Anna Wintour and Sanchez Bezos.
So we're not going to do that. Let me talk you through it. Paula writes, the invitations for the May the 4th Met Gala have gone out, and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle didn't make the cut. The snub stings particularly hard for the Duchess, who actually had a shot at attending this year's costume art-themed event, given that two of the co-chairs, Beyonce and Venus Williams, have loose connections to her social circle.
Yes, you heard that right. Banned. Now, Meghan has spent years, literally years, trying to make the world believe she is a fashion icon. She has posed, she has styled, she has worked every angle possible to get herself into fashion's most elite circles. But the one event, the single night that could have made it all official, the night that could have finally proved her point to every single doubter out there, that event looked her straight in the eye and said, "You are not welcome here." The door didn't just close on her, it was slammed shut.
The Met Gala invites have gone out, none sent to Meghan and Prince Harry. Now, she was banking. Now, Paula, look, she does say there's always the chance of a last-minute invite, that type of thing, but it's not looking good. And it is surprising, given you've got the Bezos, the Beyonce, the Williams, but it does feel like Anna Wintour has put her foot down.
But here's the thing. To really understand why this rejection cuts so deep, why this particular snub is so much more painful than anything else that has happened to her before, you need to understand exactly who made this decision. Because these are not ordinary people. Anna Wintour is not just powerful. Anna Wintour is fashion. Full stop. She has sat at the top of Vogue for over 30 years. 30 years of deciding who matters and who doesn't, who is in and who is out. She is the single most untouchable gatekeeper in the entire fashion world. Cross her once, just once, and you can forget about your seat at the table. It's gone. Forever.
And then with Anna Wintour, I mean, yes, of course she was polite with Meghan when she saw her at the Balenciaga, but it was clearly obvious what Meghan was up to. She was walking through the crowd to find someone to attach herself to, and who better than try and walk into a room with all of the cameras than Anna Wintour herself, who obviously was very polite, double kissed, and yes, you look fabulous, darling.
And then there is Sanchez Bezos, media personality, entertainment reporter, and, oh yes, the wife of Jeff Bezos, one of the richest and most influential men on the entire planet. Together, these two women don't just influence the Met Gala guest list, they are the guest list. Whatever they decide, that is final. No arguments, no negotiations, no second chances, none.
Real obstacle appears to be Anna Wintour. Now, she is, of course, the global editorial director who co-chairs the gala alongside those two women and Nicole Kidman, and she has never warmed to Meghan. Now, that's even though they had that awkward hug, do you remember, at the Balenciaga fashion show in Paris last year? However, sources tell Paula of News Nation that her patience has now run out entirely.
So when the invitations for the 2026 Met Gala finally went out, the whole world was watching. And the names on that list? Absolutely massive. Beyonce, Venus Williams, the biggest stars from entertainment, music, sports, and fashion. Every single one of them received their golden ticket. Every single one of them was welcomed with open arms, celebrated, wanted, and valued. The doors of fashion's most iconic night were thrown wide open for them.
Fashion's biggest night out now has its 2026 co-chairs. In addition to Wintour, who always sits at the helm of the annual fashion event and fundraiser, Beyoncé, Nicole Kidman, and Venus Williams have been tapped to co-chair alongside the Vogue global editorial director.
But not for one particular duchess who wanted nothing more than to be there. And then the news dropped, like a bomb. Meghan and Harry allegedly didn't make the cut, not even close. And according to insiders, Meghan was completely blindsided. She did not see this coming at all. She was hurt. She was frustrated. She was powerless. And that last part is important because Meghan Markle is someone who always finds a way to make things happen for herself. But this time, there was absolutely nothing she could do.
Yeah, when she says she's not a trad wife.
It's fruit baskets. It's just unbelievably cringe with her. It really is. The whole thing is just you can tell that she's lost the Netflix team that were initially working with her. It's very clearly obvious that these are all Meghan's thoughts and ideas and designs because they're just going from one bad decision to the next.
Yeah, and her writing, which is so naff.
But here is where it gets really, really interesting. Are you ready for this? The people that Meghan publicly calls her closest friends, her inner circle, her Hollywood allies, the people she has stood next to for photos and mentioned in interviews, they all got their invitations. Every single one of them. They are going. She is not. And that is a completely different kind of pain. Think about it. It is one thing to simply not be invited somewhere. That happens. People move on. But to sit at home and watch the very people you call your friends, the people you have laughed with and been photographed with, walk through doors that were specifically closed in your face, that is humiliating on a level that is very hard to describe.
Wintour, a close friend of King Charles and the broader British royal family, never gave Meghan an American Vogue cover, and a fraught behind-the-scenes negotiation over a potential 2022 British Vogue cover, during which Meghan reportedly demanded editorial control, a global cover, and a direct Zoom with Wintour herself, left the powerful editor thoroughly unimpressed.
The embarrassment of that moment must have cut incredibly deep. Because for years, Meghan has worked so hard to present herself as a true, fully accepted, fully respected member of Hollywood's elite. She has pushed that image at every single opportunity. But the Met Gala guest list just told a completely different story, and the whole world could see it.
Raise the stakes. Does that change the energy of the carpet?
You upped it. They upped it. Love B, and just excited to have her there. And it's just going to be such an amazing night. The Met's always full of so many surprises, so I'm just really excited.
Now, this didn't just happen overnight. Wintour and Meghan Markle have reportedly had long-standing disagreements going way back. And when you understand what those disagreements are actually about, everything starts to make perfect sense. You see, Wintour has built her entire empire on one simple principle: fashion first, always. She values discipline, she values tradition, she values keeping the spotlight exactly where it belongs, on the clothes, the designers, the art, not on one single personality who wants to hijack the whole evening for their own benefit. Anna has spent over 3 decades carefully protecting the image and the integrity of everything she has built, and she is not about to let anyone walk in and mess that up. And that is exactly the problem with Meghan. Because wherever Meghan goes, the story stops being about the event and starts being about Meghan. Every room she walks into, every appearance she makes, somehow, some way, it always ends up being about her.
She's only interested in Nigeria, now you mention it, because guess what? She found a way to make the African nation all about her, because she found out that she had some historic connection through her ancestors being of Nigerian descent.
Wintour saw that coming from a mile away, and she wanted absolutely none of it. But then came the Vogue situation, and this is where things really started to fall apart between them. Word got out that Meghan did not simply approach Vogue as a guest or a collaborator. She walked in and started making demands. Her editorial vision, her creative control, her way or no way. Can you imagine? Walking into Wintour's house, one of the most powerful institutions in the entire fashion world, and telling them how things are going to work. For Wintour, a woman who has ruled fashion with an iron fist for more than 30 years, that was not just surprising. That was completely unacceptable. Sources say the whole situation caught Wintour totally off guard. And from that moment on, the trust was gone. The warmth was gone. The hesitation was very, very real. And if that wasn't enough, Meghan allegedly didn't stop there. She apparently pushed for something even bigger, a grand, sweeping, global cover concept that absolutely nobody had asked for, and that had nothing to do with what the magazine had planned. Look, ambition is one thing. Everyone respects ambition.
Meghan Markle, apparently her attempt to get on the cover of Vogue has failed due to her long list of demands.
Well, yes, Danica, she was proposed to be on a Vogue cover here in Britain, but she wanted to be on the cover also in America. Vogue said no, they weren't warming to this idea. She had a whole list of demands that she wanted to do this cover, and it ended in tears, as it always does with Meghan Markle. So it's again showing she's very difficult to work with.
But there is a very thin line between ambition and overstepping, and Meghan crossed that line. Fashion insiders say, this pattern, this relentless obsession with personal branding, this habit of making every single collaboration about herself rather than about the work, is exactly what left Anna Wintour completely cold. And in the fashion world, that is the kiss of death, because the last person you ever want to lose is Anna Wintour. And Meghan managed to do exactly that.
Firstly, the cheek of Meghan Markle to think that she can boss Anna Wintour around when it comes to a Vogue cover, to think that she's more important than all of these other stars who they already had lined up. But Angela, does this not say everything about Meghan Markle? Serena Williams is basically the only celebrity friend that has stood by her over all of these years. But she was trying to get Serena Williams booted off the cover. Do you think Serena had any idea? I mean, this just shows you how low this woman will go.
Now, here is something most people don't realize about Anna Wintour. She doesn't make quick decisions. She watches. She observes. She quietly studies public figures over a long period of time before she ever decides whether they deserve a place at an event as prestigious and sacred as the Met Gala. She misses nothing. Absolutely nothing. And what she reportedly saw from Meghan was not good. Not good at all. There were the fashion show appearances, showing up uninvited, walking in like she owned the place, inserting herself into spaces where she simply was not wanted.
Nobody gets that, not even Beyoncé. A source noted Meghan's uninvited appearance at Balenciaga's fashion show last August did her no favors either, with insiders describing her late arrival and red carpet posturing as tone deaf.
There were the engineered photo moments, carefully staged situations designed to look casual and spontaneous, but that everyone in the industry could see right through. And then there were the reports of laughing at models, which in the fashion world is basically unforgivable. These are real people, artists, professionals, and treating them like entertainment is exactly the kind of behavior that gets you blacklisted, quietly and permanently.
It's been revealed that Meghan Markle actually invited herself to this Paris Fashion Week show earlier this month. Now, the Balenciaga designer has claimed that she reached out and she said she would love to come to the show.
The Met Gala is not just a party. It is fashion's most sacred and most protected night of the year. Every single detail is carefully controlled. Every guest is carefully chosen. And the absolute last thing Anna Wintour and her team allegedly wanted was someone walking through those doors and treating the whole evening like their own personal publicity stunt. Because that is exactly what they feared Meghan would do. But it wasn't just Anna Wintour who had concerns. The sponsors connected to the Met Gala were apparently feeling the same way. And this is where Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez enter the picture in a very serious way. These two have spent years, carefully and strategically, building their position at the very top of elite society. Every move they make is calculated. Every association they choose is deliberate. And protecting that position means one thing above everything else: keep the drama out.
Lead sponsors Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez are also said to have soured on the couple following the Kris Kardashian birthday party incident. Oh my goodness, we knew that was going to have ramifications to her dwindling social status.
After a series of high-profile incidents at exclusive celebrity gatherings, organizers had reportedly made a very clear and very firm decision. If there is any doubt about someone, any question at all about whether their presence could create controversy or chaos, they simply don't get an invitation. No exceptions, no discussions. Done. And Meghan, fairly or unfairly, had become the definition of drama. Wherever she went, controversy seemed to follow. And nobody at the top level of the Met Gala wanted any part of that.
Look, she does say there's always the chance of a last-minute invite, that type of thing, but it's not looking good. And it is surprising, given you've got the Bezos, the Beyonce, the Williams, but it does feel like Anna Wintour has put her foot down. Plus, I guess a bit of Lauren Sanchez mixed in. I would Highly.
Oh, yeah.
Now let's talk about the Kardashian incident, because this one is truly something else. Meghan and Harry reportedly attended a birthday celebration at the Kardashian residence. And, by all accounts, the evening started off perfectly fine. Everyone was friendly, everyone was having a good time, everything seemed normal. But then the photographs started surfacing online, and that is when everything completely fell apart. Suddenly, there were disputes about who had authorized what, who had approved which photos, who had said what to whom. And then the Kardashians themselves allegedly stepped forward and publicly contradicted Meghan's version of events in front of everyone, out in the open, creating exactly the kind of messy, ugly, embarrassing Hollywood fallout that no amount of money, no amount of PR, and no amount of carefully worded Instagram posts can ever fix. It was a disaster, and everyone saw it.
You'll remember, of course, the Sussexes pressured the family to scrub social media photos taken the night before the UK's Remembrance Day, a move that backfired spectacularly when Khloe and Kim Kardashian publicly contradicted their account of events. And I do think we also just have to note again this Easter how far Meghan's stock has fallen. Rather than spreading any type of good cheer or talking about a religious message or anything like that, which you would have thought she would have wanted to do. Instead, she sent out an email trying to sell us her crap with a new picture headlined "A Week of Simple Pleasures."
So what does Meghan do after getting rejected from the biggest fashion event on the planet? Does she stay quiet? Does she take a step back and reflect? Absolutely not. Instead, she does what she always does when things go wrong. She goes straight to social media and tries to take back control of the story.
What was it Kris Jenner called her? The honey badger or something, because she's known to be quite vicious. I mean, it was an epic own goal. That's all Harry and Meghan seem to be capable of. What they did over that photo gate with the Kardashian party was going to burn bridges for them, because it wasn't just the photographs, as we know. It was the fact that they felt they needed to also get a statement out there blaming the Kardashians for it, when it's clearly obvious it was Meghan that said, I want the photos released. I don't want the photos released, because she wanted attention. She wanted drama. That's the only reason why they would have done something so ridiculous. You know, the horse had already bolted. You can't really pull back photographs that have already been released on social media. But she did try and say, you know, they made up a story about a made-up contract that the Kardashians and the Jenners had breached a legally binding contract. So of course that would have done them far more damage with that social circle. And that was the first time that they'd really got what I would call a celebrity golden ticket, and they ruined it.
Almost immediately after the Met Gala rejection became public knowledge, Meghan's social media suddenly came alive. Paparazzi-style images started appearing from Montecito. Carefully curated lifestyle content began flooding her pages. Beautiful family moments, perfectly framed, perfectly lit, perfectly timed. And to anyone paying attention, the message was very clear. Look over here. Look at my beautiful life. Please stop talking about the Met Gala.
Oh wow, Anna Wintour has just banned Meghan Markle and Prince Harry from the Met Gala. So if you're Meghan Markle, what do you do at that moment? First you set up some paparazzi pictures in Montecito. We're not even going to go there, folks. Then you post a video on Instagram, specifically responding to the fact that we all know Meghan cares more and promotes more her daughter rather than her son.
But here's the thing about the internet. People notice everything, and they noticed this. Observers and commentators were quick to point out that the sudden burst of activity felt less like genuine sharing and more like a very deliberate and very calculated attempt to redirect public attention, to drown out the embarrassment of the snub with a flood of carefully selected images. It was damage control, plain and simple. And a lot of people saw right through it. Then came Easter. And this is where it gets even more interesting. Instead of sharing the kind of warm, genuine, traditional holiday content that most people associate with Easter, Meghan released a series of lifestyle-themed messages that left a lot of people scratching their heads. There was no real religious reflection, no genuine warmth, just more personal branding, more curated presentation, more perfectly produced content that felt more like a magazine shoot than an actual family holiday.
I mean, the basic bitch advice, guys. Seriously, it's so bad. Sorry, I hate to laugh, but like, this is her advice. Set the table in color and spend an afternoon decorating eggs together. Bowl of dye, a dozen eggs, a little whimsy. It becomes less about outcome and more about the time spent side by side. from you, Meghan. Seriously, don't try and tell me how to spend my Easter, given the way that you've treated your family and your friends.
Online discussions exploded. People were commenting, debating, questioning everything about it. Many viewers described the content as feeling completely manufactured and hollow. Some went even further, suggesting that the posts had clearly been planned and scheduled well in advance as part of a much bigger and much more deliberate public relations strategy. That this was not spontaneous at all. That every single image, every single caption, every single moment had been carefully engineered to serve one purpose: to make people forget about the Met Gala. And then the privacy question came roaring back, because this is the part that really makes people angry. Meghan and Harry have spent years, literally years, giving interviews, making speeches, and releasing statements about how desperately important it is to protect their children from media exposure. They have spoken about it passionately and repeatedly. They have presented themselves as parents who will do absolutely anything to keep their kids out of the public eye. But suddenly, right after the Met Gala rejection, family visuals started appearing everywhere. The children, the home, the private moments, all of it being shared publicly. And audiences online were not slow to connect the dots. Comment sections filled up with people asking the same uncomfortable question. If privacy is so important to them, why are the children suddenly appearing all over social media the moment Meghan needs a distraction? Why does their commitment to privacy seem to disappear exactly when their public image needs a boost?
And I just find the whole thing with them when they do the children, you've got no idea if that is actually their son. That could be a friend's son. You know, you've just got no idea because we just don't have the children presented how you would present them normally. But again, this is an Instagram video of their child who is on holiday that has no choice. They can't say whether they want these images of themselves put on the internet. It's down to their parents doing it. And Harry is obviously heavily promoting people suing Meta. Yet Meghan is using Meta to upload lots of private moments of their children, from running in the garden to skiing and everything. It's just they're a total hypocritical couple when it comes to anything to do with the kids.
And the criticism didn't stop there, because people online were pointing out something that many consider to be the biggest contradiction of all. Here you have a couple that has built a significant part of their public identity around campaigning against the dangers of social media. They have spoken about online harm, they have talked about mental health, they have positioned themselves as people who understand better than anyone how damaging and toxic social media can be. And yet, the moment their image takes a hit, the moment they need to change the conversation, suddenly private family moments are being packaged up and served to the public like content, like product, like carefully designed marketing material. And people are tired of it. They are genuinely, deeply tired of the contradiction. You cannot stand on a stage and warn the world about the dangers of social media exposure, and then turn around and use your own children as props the second your reputation needs a repair job. People see it, they talk about it, and it is doing serious, lasting damage to whatever credibility Meghan and Harry have left.
Yeah, exactly. Yet again, Harry is talking about privacy, the importance of privacy for children, scolding people the way that he does. He doesn't have conversations. He actually scolds people and preaches from his ivory tower. And yet his wife is posting private moments of their children, which most parents even know that, I'm not putting my children on the internet, especially if they feel as passionately as they do about, the terrible things that Meta does.
Because here is the uncomfortable truth that nobody around them seems willing to say out loud. Their popularity is not what it used to be. Not even close. There was a time when Meghan and Harry were genuinely considered a global force. Their every move was followed breathlessly. Their activism generated real excitement. Their appearances created real buzz. People genuinely believed in them and what they stood for. But that energy has faded, significantly. Commentators and analysts have noted that public enthusiasm surrounding everything they do has quietly but very clearly softened over time. The audiences that once treated them as powerful, important, world-changing figures are now largely treating them as just another pair of celebrities, trying to stay relevant in a world that has largely moved on. The magic is gone. The excitement is gone. And no amount of perfectly curated Instagram content seems to be able to bring it back. In fact, observers have started joking about something that is both funny and devastating at the same time. Their decline has now lasted significantly longer than their actual peak.
them speak out this week on Meta and YouTube and, you know, digital harms to children, which is obviously a hugely important subject. But it kind of felt weird to me because, you know, had they done that back in 2020, come out swinging against two massive digital media companies, I think it would really have felt like something would happen off the back of that, like there would be some kind of massive consequence. And it just feels now like they're almost just kind of screaming in a vacuum, and that they can do these things but no one really cares anymore. At least no one in America really cares anymore. And that, I kind of felt a bit sad on their behalf as a result, but it also got me to thinking, like, maybe it was actually better when they were in Britain and people were hating them. Like, even if you're hated, it still kind of is better than being ignored. And I realised, I was trying to do the maths on it, and I've actually realised now that their flop era, which for me started in the aftermath of Spare, so basically 2023 to 2026.
Think about that for a moment. The period when people stopped caring about them has now outlasted the period when people genuinely couldn't get enough of them. That is not just a bad week or a bad month. That is a fundamental and possibly permanent shift in how the public sees them. And yet, despite all of this, despite the rejection, despite the public criticism, despite the fading popularity and the growing contradictions, there are reports that Meghan was still holding on to hope, still waiting, still believing that somehow, some way, a last-minute invitation to the Met Gala might still find its way to her door. Because in her mind, walking through those doors would have meant something enormous. It would have finally, officially, undeniably cemented her place in the fashion world. It would have been the validation she has been chasing for years. But it never came. By the time the guest list was completely finalized, every single space had been filled. There was no room left, no last-minute additions, no exceptions, no mercy. The door was closed, the list was done, and Meghan's name was not on it. So we want to know what you think. Was Anna Wintour completely right to exclude Meghan Markle from the Met Gala? Or do you think Meghan deserved a chance to be there? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you found this video interesting, make sure you like it, share it, and subscribe so you never miss a single update.